Hello, everybody. We'll get started here in just a moment. Let's see, we got about 2 more minutes to go before we'll get started with episode 2 of One Block Wonders tonight. One Block Wonder panel quilts, to be precise. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, hey, I saw your cool bottle wall on Facebook. That's really cool. Hi, Vanessa. Hi, Dot. Like I said, we'll get started here in about a minute or so. So this is episode 2 tonight. Episode 3 will be tomorrow night. So I've decided to do this new style that I'm trying out on Friday and Saturday night. So it's a continuation, and I think that would probably be the best way to do this. Blah, blah, blah. I think it'll really be good. So we're going to give that a go and see how that goes. Alrighty, woohoo. Let's see here. It is 6 o'clock, everybody, and we're going to get started. Welcome to Feature Friday, and tonight is episode 2 of our One Block Wonder panel quilt series. Ooh, that was a lot to say. Hi, Linda. Hi, Eugenia. No, Eugenia, my email has not changed. We have been having some problems with our email server as far as our internet service provider. They went through some major changes here over the last few weeks. There's been a lot of outages and stuff. Hi, Mia. Hi, Megan. Well, we talk about using fabric versus panels tonight. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Linda. Fabric versus panel. Oh, fabric. I get it. Yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit tonight here in the very beginning. But honestly, after we finish the series on the panel One Block Wonders, I will be doing another series on using just fabric off of the bolt to create a One Block Wonder quilt. Hi, Leslie. So everybody, I'm going to swap to another camera. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh, wonderful. Hi. Yes, using yardage. Yeah, using yardage, Linda. That is correct. So tonight is all about the fabric panels. The question, everybody, is this. What's the difference between using a fabric panel versus using yardage off of a bolt of fabric? It can be done both ways. However, it is certainly a totally different method, and I really can't mix the two together because that is what I will be doing for the second series. One Block Wonders series will be using fabric off of the bolt. What you have to do, and I'm just not going to go into that deeply in this series because I don't want to get the two mixed up. But long story short, to do fabric off of a yardage and not use panels, you have to cut your 6 panels out of the yardage, cutting where the fabric repeats are, and then you line it up the same way as you did a panel. That's the big difference right there in a nutshell. Okay. Hi, Mickey. Yes. I hope that answered your question, Linda. I will not be demoing that tonight. That will be on the series I do right after I finish the panel quilt series for One Block Wonders. Okay. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way. Swap to a different camera. Here we go. There we go. So I highly recommend, if you're really wanting to get into making the One Block Wonder panel quilts, this is a very informative book that you can purchase. Gives some great examples of, like on the cover here, these blocks were made from this panel. And there's several instances throughout this book that can help guide you and teach you how to do this technique as well. There's a lot of cool techniques. And I'll briefly skim through this entire book There's an Amazon link below in my description. If your local quilt shop doesn't have it or can't order it for you, you can get these on Amazon. Okay. As you can see, here are some of the different panels. You can use any type of panel. The trick is, like a smaller panel like these are like lions and elephants and zebras and tigers. If they're a smaller panel than the 24 by with the fabric, you can use them, but you have to make sure you have 6 repeats of the same panel stacked on top of each other, or even the 6 fabrics off of yardage stacked on top of each other. Wonderful, Mickey. Hi, Christina. Okay, so like I said, this would be a wonderful book. Think of it as a textbook, okay? You can learn a lot. The great thing about making these, one thing I love, if you piece a hexie, you have a Y seam. Well, doing one block wonders, there are 0 Y seams, okay? And I'll show you all about that tomorrow night. Episode 3 is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, and that's when I'll start piecing these units together to make these pieced kaleidoscope hexagons. Pretty cool. I'm just going to briefly kind of go through this so it just gives you a good overall feel as to how you can use the panels to make the one block wonders. Now, case in point, a lot in this book, they put the panel into the front of the quilt on the piecing. You don't have to do that. You can just use the piecing and put this panel, sew it into your background. Sew it into your background. And Mickey, a 24-inch square is okay. Make sure you have to have 6 of them. That's the rule. 6 panels just alike. It will just make a smaller quilt. That's all. And as you can see here, when you sew these together, I'm going to bring this one up closer. When you sew that panel together, there's the panel right there. Your blocks look nothing like the panel. Check it out. It's pretty cool. So much fun. And then check, this is what this is really cool here. Look at this example right here, this horse. And there's the type of blocks that were cut when that horse was cut up, that panel. There are the color of blocks that made. Oops. There we go. Okay. You can use any size panel, even a 12 by 12 inch panel. However, you're going to have to still cut them up and layer them in the same method. You just won't get very many units out of a 12-inch block. A 24 would definitely be better. If I was going to do a 24-inch square block, I would probably use a smaller equilateral triangle size than what I'll be using tomorrow night. But I will be using that equilateral triangle tonight to show you how to cut one of these up. But there we go. I mean, there's still more in here. A lot of inspiration, a lot of tips, and techniques. Well, that was a mouthful. But this is one of my favorite ones in the book. Check this one here out. Oops. Here we go. Right there. Here we go. It's pretty. Love the colors in it. Fun book. So I highly recommend the book. If you don't have it, it'd be a good, and if you're going to make these and make more than one of them, these are really addictive. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 more of these planned. I already have the fabric for them. So, lots of fun. So last week, if you'll recall, I showed you how to layer these. There are 6 panels here, and I layered them and matched the pattern through all 6 layers using straight pins. Okay? So the next step, I'm going to start cutting this. Hi, Beverly. I'm going to start cutting this out. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to roll up one end, and I'm going to start down here on this end, right here. I'm going to swap to yet a different camera. Hold on. Okay. Let me go to my other camera. There we go. Now, I just have to be careful that I do not put a rotary cutter through one of the pins where I have these layers pinned together. Another tool, the tools I'll be using tonight. Rotary cutter. First, I'll be using my 8.5 by 24 inch ruler. I could use a 6 by 24. Key is you want it 24. It's got to cover the entire width of this. Okay. After I get done using this, I'll be using this. This is an equilateral 60-degree triangle. And what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be making 4.5 inch cuts. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark my rulers before I even make my first cut, everybody. So check this out. Let me get, oh, you can see the back of my head. I have embroidery tape. If you have painter's tape, that will also work. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark my rulers at the 4.5 inch mark, simply because it'll make it easier to line everything up when I start cutting. So I'm just going to put this right under, and I'll hold this up to the camera once I get it. I'm going to put the edge right to the 4.5 inch mark on my ruler. First on this one. There we go. Right there. That line right there is 4.5 inches from the point on my ruler. This is going to be my cutting line, okay? 4.5. And I'm going to do the same thing with my Creative Grids ruler. I am going to do 4.5. There we go. And don't worry, that tape will come off. It's fairly easy. Now that I have that cut, I have that marked, so looky here. That's at right there, 4.5 inches from this edge to here. It's 4.5. Now, I'm going to trim off the bottom edge, the selvage edge of my panels. Here's my 6 panels layered together. I'm going to get it a good square cut here. I could use the lines on my cutting mat. However, since I am having to rely on 2 different rulers, I am going to use, I'm going to take that pin out. I'm actually going to cut this square right here. Okay, there's that. Now, to get my next cut, I'm going to line up the edge of that fabric I just cut with the top edge of my tape. Right there. Makes it super easy to line up this way. I'm going to check. There's one pin right here I'm going to have to remove. What about that one? That one's good. I can just back that one out just a bit. I'm going to make my first 4.5 inch cut. Now you can make these triangles whatever size you choose to. I'm doing mine at 4.5. You could make them 3 inches if you wanted to. But I personally am going to use my 4.5 inch cut on this. The next one I do on camera, I will use a smaller one. But for this one, I'm just going to use, there we go. Now check it out. When I pull that away, there's my new piece of fabric. Okay. And I'm going to just pull this back. So what I would do, once you could just go ahead and cut all of this into 4.5-inch strips if you wanted to. It's okay, Betty. Welcome. Yeah, Barbara, it's much easier for me to stand and cut as well. However, I can't get a camera into my cutting table area, so I'm making do with the best I can. Now notice, now I can use this, and all I'm going to do is line this up. Now the very end pieces right here, this will be our only wastage. I'm going to line up the top of the tape with the edge of that fabric. And I'm going to make my 2 cuts. One here. And then one back this way. There we go. Now that's cut. I'm going to take me a Wonder Clip. Have Wonder Clips in my little fabric bowl here. I'll set these up over here. I'm going to take a Wonder Clip and I'm going to clip, for right now, I'm going to clip that top edge of that. Okay? And then I have another fabric bowl I'll put my cut pieces into. Okay? So then all I do is flip this around, line up this edge and my top edge with that, and make another cut. Okay. Then I'll make another cut this way. As you can see, you just keep flipping that 60-degree ruler. And that's really all there is to it. It's not as hard as it looks like. When you look at one of these quilt tops, they do look super complex, but they truly are not that difficult to do, as long as you have the proper tools to do it with. You take that one out. And where's my bigger, I need my bigger rotary cutter. This one is just a hair too small. Right there you are. Okay, this is the 45. Okay, this will make the cutting a little bit easier through all those layers. As you can see, this is just something, just take your time with it. It's not a race, so don't be in a rush. This is where you want these angles to be as accurate as possible so that the hexagons you piece out of them lay nice and flat. And I think I can get one more. And listen, you might think, well, gosh, I don't always use every single one that I make. It just really depends once I get to my design wall. There might be a few that you piece. You say, well, I'm not going to, those will just go into my orphan pile for another project. So there's my 2, out of that whole row, there's my 2 pieces of wastage. These could be used in another project for something. But I actually, out of one strip, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got enough pieces for 7 blocks out of one strip off of those panels. Oh, thank you, Linda. And that's really what I just did there. That's all there is to it. Just repeat the process up and across the entire thing. So I'm going to wonder clip all of these together. Just lay that there and bring this over here. I'm just going to wonder clip my sets together so they don't get mixed up. And before we get too far, I'm going to audition one of these so we can kind of get a look as to what this is going to be. Very abstract, this particular one is. We'll just get a kind of get a view as to what this would look like. You're correct, Miss Beth. I do have 8. I can't count tonight, everybody. I have not been. I think Mike and I both were just a little yucky feeling for the last yesterday and today, but it's all good. But there's what that would look at that. Isn't that pretty? Check that out. That's what that one stack would look like. This is going to make a beautiful top. Oh, I can't wait to have this one done and quilted. But that's how cool it is to do. So I'm going to just do one more off of this cut, and we'll see what this one looks like. And then I'll get these all picked up and we'll move on. And once you start doing these, in the beginning, this will be the most time-consuming part for you, is laying them out. But after you kind of get a feel for how you get a feel for it, I can just about look at a stack and tell what I'm going to put to the center of my quilt top. Check, this is really pretty too. Wow. That is awesome. Isn't that pretty? And it looks like it's got a lot of piecing, but it's just a repeat of the exact same triangle, putting the same point right into the center. Okay. And another thing is, even if there's 3 people and they have the same set of panels, chances are everybody will cut just a little bit differently, and it's going to do, everyone's will come out just a little bit different because there's a bazillion, once you get the blocks made, there's 1,000 different ways you can lay them out and get a unique look for each one of them. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Pin these to wonder clip these together. So you can never have too many of these little plastic clips, everybody. Now then, just looking at this one, this to the center or that to the center would look the best, and I'm probably going to do that one. But we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow night when I start sewing these together. That's an easy one. That one goes to the center on that one. And let's see. I'm going to put this to the center. It's got a little bit of the grayed out yellow in it right there. That to the center I think would look lovely. And that one's pretty solid green, so let's see here. Let's do a little bit of audition in here. I find that if you can decide what's going to be the center at this step, it makes, oh, I like that. That's pretty cool. I like that. It makes the process go a little bit quicker as well. That's equally as nice. Oh gosh, I think I like that one better actually. Okay, I'm gonna go with that for right now. And before they're sewed together, can still play with them when we sit down at the machine tomorrow night to decide which direction we're going to spin them. Oh, it's okay, Miss Beth. That's the fun of these. is doing that auditioning. So let's move these to the side. We're going to cut us out another strip, and I'm probably going to cut a few more strips this time instead of just the one. Ouch. There we go. Okay. And what I find, it's really better if the less you have to handle all of these layers, the better off you'll be. That reduces the chance of shifting everybody. Okay. There's that one. We'll do another one maybe. Okay, no pins. We'll just set that right up there. We'll set that up there. Now we'll cut these two apart. This will be an interesting one. Okay. So, excuse me. I'm coming in right here about a 1/4 inch from the edge, because the edges out here are not exactly even from where they were cut up. Each panel was cut apart, and that's okay. That's part of it. There we go. And I think these are actually 60. This is about a 30-degree. This is half of a 60 degree, so this would be 30 degrees basically, but it's half of a 60. So I'll just save these for later. Never know what we might make out of those, right? Let's get these triangles cut. There we go. And what I'm looking to line up here when I do this edge against the edge of the fabric, that angle cut. And then where my tape mark is, that's just on the very edge of those strips. Just do a little cut there. Give it a little space and flip it. Do I have to take that pin out? Yes, I do. Now everybody, if you're enjoying this, please hit the like button. That really helps out the video when it comes to search windows and stuff like that here on YouTube. I'd certainly appreciate it. And if you don't want to miss any of my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe and notify button, and then you'll be automatically notified when I have scheduled a class. It's 4. Okay. There's 5. Six. Seven. And if you're wondering, you could even make these larger than what I'm cutting. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Entirely up to you. Let's see if I can get one more piece out of this. I think I can. And remember, this includes a 1/4 inch seam all the way around what we're cutting out. Oops. There we go. Here we go. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Then, I know this is going to look pretty cool. Let's have a look at this one real quick. That little bit of blue in the center. Come here, you. There we go. And it's really amazing how these blocks, once you start laying them out like this, they look totally different from one row to the next. Pretty cool. Woohoo. It does kind of look like shibori Lee. Yes, it does. Okay. Then let's do one of these as well. Bet this would be fun looking. Let's do one of these. This is going to make like a cute little star in the center. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Yeah, this is so fun. Okay, so I'm going to start wonder clipping these together and putting them in the basket. Then we'll cut this one. And let's see here. I would think this right here with that dark line in it, that in the center will make a nice pattern going all the way around the interior. So I'll preemptively say that. And let's get these restacked. Now I will tell you this, making these, you will do a lot of pressing with your iron. These do require all seams to be pressed open. Otherwise, there's too much bulk in the center and you just won't get a good effect. Linda, I'll look at that here in just a moment. Oh, Mickey, that's a wonderful idea. Absolutely. Use your smart device and take a picture of each one. Because honestly, when I'm actually doing this and I'm not on camera, I will cut up the entire thing like this and then audition my entire thing and put the clip where it's going to be in the center and then sit at my sewing machine. I'm doing it a little bit differently than I normally would because I'm teaching this. But yeah, totally, Mickey, I would do that. Fabulous idea. So, Linda, at the opposite end is the actual selvage that has the writing on it. Okay. And I'm going to try to get this in the camera view for you. Hold on. I got these at Jackman's Fabrics in St. Louis, is where I purchased these panels at. However, let's see here, Handycam. Yes. There we go. Now I'm going to rotate this around, then I will zoom in with the camcorder. It's by Northcott Fabrics, Daydreamin' by Stephanie Brandenburg, Fron Design Studios, exclusively for Northcott Fabrics, 40003-53. I'm going to zoom in and leave it there for a sec. Hold on. Oops, wrong way. Wrong way to zoom. There we go. But that is the item number right there. There's the item number. Northcott 40003-53. But if you want the name of it, it's right down here. Daydreaming. By Stephanie Brandenburg, Fron Design Studio. So you can replay this video and pause it so you can write all of that down. But that's what it is. Okay. There we go. Twirl this around. Get back to where I had it. Okay. Here we go. Swap back to my other camera. Okay. It's this one. There we go. Oh, you're very welcome, Betty and Linda. Okay, so let's cut this one apart next. Okay. It is important for those rulers to lay flat. Otherwise, they will slip and slide all over the place. It's really important when you start taking the pins out is to not move this any more than you have to. Oh, thank you, Mickey. There's another really cool tool that you can use to audition fabric to make these with, whether it be a panel or just regular fabric. And it's made by Marty Mitchell. Hold on. Hold on. Let me go grab that. I'll be right back. I will have a link to this in the description after tonight's episode is over. But yes, Mickey, it is called, it's like a magic mirror. Oops, let me get this other, let me get the other one up here. There we go. Woo-hoo. There we go. But it does actually say, from Marty Mitchell Marketing, they're in Georgia. And what it is, when you open this up, it's a mirror. But, check it out. Let me just take this ruler off. And if I set it up on this fabric, I'm going to move my little camera over here so you can see. Hold on. You can audition what those will look like cut apart and sewn together as triangles. Isn't that cool? If I just move it over this way, that's a way you can kind of get a look and a feel for what certain fabrics would look like if you're using this type of a technique on it. Okay? Very handy to take with you, like to a fabric store, to audition fabric with. There's also an online app to do it with. Lots of fun. Super easy to carry, and there is the name of that. But it is a magic mirror. Okay. Let me get my camera removed. But what's really great about that little tool is, you know, earlier Linda Smith and I, we were chatting about using just regular fabric and not panels. Well, that's very beneficial to use that in that case as well. Okay. See if I got this there we go. I don't want you to see the big mess behind the screen. Oh, it's all in camera angles, everybody. Okay, let's go back to here. And we're going to continue cutting these out. Then we'll audition a couple of them and move on. Boo, 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 boo. At my big cutting table that I can stand up at, I can cut these out fairly quickly. But it's okay. Sitting down, it's nice and relaxing to do it this way as well. Yes, another one I have in the works. Remember about 4 years ago, Northcott came out with those Stonehenge fabric panels with Stonehenge on it? Well, I have 7 of those put back for one of these quilts as well. So I'm going to remove all the pins. Oh boy, and I can tell by looking at these there's going to be some cool ones in this group. So, let's have a look at this one. When you have something like this and there's a design across one side of the triangle, sometimes it's super cool to put these on the outside, what would be the outside of the hexie, in my opinion. So check it out. Whether it's this abstract or if it's a floral or whatever. And literally every panel you cut up to make one of these, it will be different from the previous one you've done. They will each have their own unique character, and they will just kind of tell you how they want to be sewn back together. Check that out. Pretty cool. Let's do this one. Here's one that's I have a couple that are just like solid blue. So let's just check a couple of those out, because you might think, ooh, it's all one color, but you know what? It'll be okay because, oops, As long as you lay them out in the exact same order, it will be okay. Okay, there we go. And there. And there. And there. But that really made a really cool looking pant. You wouldn't have thought that started out basically like this, that it would end up looking like that, right? Pretty cool. Thank you, Mark. Let's do another one. Let's do one of these here. This is easy. The blue tip I would put to the center. That's just me. So if it's a heavy floral or something, you can look for the patterns. So when you're looking at a triangle, look at the three corners. And if one corner just kind of jumps out because of the design or a different color, that's usually a good thing to put into the center of one of these blocks. Yeah, it's going to look nice. There we go. Pretty cool, eh? Okay, let's get these clipped up. See, look at that one. See how here on this one edge it all goes up like that? Yeah, there's your center mark right there. Center. See how this corner sticks out from the other two immensely? And on this, which is very similar to this, the lines basically go like that, so I'm going to put the center right up here. That's what I did with this one. Next, we're going to cut out a few more strips. Oops. When you're if you have to stack and back up, you just want to make sure they're all stacked in the exact same order. Otherwise, you might sew them together. I did have to rip out. I was piecing on my peacock one earlier today, and I did have to rip out, I think, one triangle because I sewed it in the wrong direction. Blah, blah, blah. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's get that one on there. Okay. And that one, center, there won't be much of that left. Yeah, for right now, I'll just call that one dot right there the center of that to the center. We'll see. That might change tomorrow when I sew it together. Okay. Let's pull this unit up a little bit closer. See, I'm almost two more cuts will put me to the halfway mark. Lining up the edge of that tape with the edge of my fabric. Okay. Just making sure I have no, there's a pin right there. That's going to have to come back. Just going to come out. Just put a new blade on this particular rotary cutter. I don't want to ruin it like right out of the box. If you go over a straight pin with the rotary cutter, that blade is trashed because it will not make a clean cut. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do 3 cuts on this time. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and cut all of my strips out. That way that part will be done. I'm just going to cut all of these out into my strips. Okay, right there. Okay. There we go. Let's get another one cut. I have to remove a pin out of this. Is that good? That's good. That's good, but that one's not. Okay. There. Just take that one out. And we'll do another one. We'll get a little closer to me. There we go. I'll get one more cut out of it. Pin's got to come out. This one's got to come out. I'm going to stand up for this one. Go on that 4.5 tape mark right along the edge. Oops. Yep, I may have just got my blade on that cut. We'll see. I felt it stop. Maybe I didn't go over it, but it stopped it. There we go. Okay. Okay. Woohoo. You know, this is something I'll just use for a future project. These strips, those could be cut down and used in a log cabin block or something. It's all good. Okay. Now I just have to cut all of these into my 60-degree equilateral triangles. Just gonna gently put these back. You don't have to keep them in order, but that's just part of my OCD. 6. Okay. Now we're just going to cut this up into our 60-degree triangles. Here we go. That'll be pretty. That'll make a cool one. There we go. Okay. Yep, it did get my little blade right there. That's all it takes, everyone. Even though I didn't go all the way over the pin, you see how it's like catching a thread? That's what happens when you hit a pin with your rotary cutting ruler, blade, cutter. Your rotary cutting cutter. There we go. This cut will make an interesting one too. It's got some different colors going on in it. It's doing better. Get them pins out. Two more cuts for this strip. And there we go. So let's see, let's do a couple of these. Right there would be my center, I think. That would, remember, that's going to swirl out from the center. So, check it out. Oh, this is going to look cool. Totally cool. Look at that. Amazing. I like that one a lot. Pretty cool, right? Let's see, we know what that one looks like. It's a solid blue one. And I would say put that one to the center. And that one to the center. Now then, here's an interesting one right here. This would go to the center is what I would personally do. Let's see what that looks like. If I had to guess, that's what I would say. It's going to make almost a spider web type of plate design. Look at that. Isn't that cool? The fabric is doing all the work. All I had to do was pick out a panel that I liked. Then all the colors will automatically work together. So when you're looking at, if you're going to do panels, when you're looking at a panel, look at one that has colors in it that you personally like, because that will be what your quilt top looks like. Isn't that cool? And there. And there. Okay. Excuse me. Next, where'd you go, window? There you are. Okay, so Let's get these stacked up. And just in case you're wondering, what if we turned, instead of doing it like that, check this out. This is a good example. If you do it like this, because this is kind of like a stripe, basically, you get a totally different look, like so. Equally as cool. I did like the first one a little bit better, but that's just me. But this is a totally cool one here too. Especially the way these little dark stripes, they actually formed a secondary design that I wasn't expecting. So I really like it like that too. This will be a hard decision to make when it comes time to sew it together. Woohoo! So let's get those stacked up. Then we'll cut some more. I'm going to get a sip of my Diet Coke. Yes, I'm not drinking coffee tonight, everybody. I'm actually drinking my next best thing to coffee, which is Diet Coke. Okay. Next is this one. Now this has some really cool features in it. The next, and this one does too. These three right here are going to have some really cool looking units out of it. Totally cool. And I need to get my pins up. Otherwise, I sew barefoot a lot, and I don't want one of these to get knocked off in the floor. So I'm going to take just a second here and get them on my magnetic pin cushion. Okay. Just because I can, and I like to be as I like to pretend that I'm very organized. I do have my moments when I'm obsessively organized, but trying to get over that. There we go. Okay. So next, we're going to cut this little puppy right here up. It's a little strip of fabric. The pin just automatically going to come out. Do I want it that way or this one? Because that's a really cool color right here. Let me see. Oh. You know what? I'm just not going to think about that and not try to pre-plan it too much. This is where serendipity comes in. There we go. And just so everybody knows, I will not get this pieced in one night. So tomorrow night we'll do an hour or two, and then I'm going to try my best to have this project wrapped up the following Friday and Saturday. Maybe even a Sunday if we need to. Next weekend it might be a 3-day weekend so we can get this quilt top complete. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Look at that. This one's going to be totally cool. Woohoo. And while I'm doing this one, I am still behind the scenes working on my Peacock one block wonder. Got all my blocks done today for that one. The only reason I didn't do that one on camera, I was too far along to be able to start from the beginning. And that's why I'm not doing that one on camera. But I'll show you what it looks like on the design wall tomorrow night. On this episode, tomorrow night's episode. This last one will make a really cool looking one too. That works. Yep. Okay. Let's audition a couple of these. See what they look like. Okay. Got to see what this one looks like because I just know this is going to be totally cool. Separate. There we go. Woo. Yeah, love that one. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. This one is another cool one. And like I said, there's your contrasting point on the triangle right here. So this is what I would choose to start off with, to put it in the center and see how it speaks to you. But really, one of the wondrous things about one block wonders is this, everybody. It makes it super easy to pick out the fabric to make a quilt top out of. Because especially using the panels, you'll see you just have to pick one piece of fabric and get 6 repeats to do this. That's all there is to it. Now, if you're going to, like in the book, if you're going to do the piecing around the panel on the front of the quilt, you will need 7 panels instead of 6. I always buy 7 simply because I like to put one of the panels in the back, on the backing of my quilt, instead of into the front of the quilt. Pretty cool though, look at that. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Okay, let's get these all lined up here. This one, notice, remember, if there's a narrow band of a design across one entire edge, there's your center right there. Because this is what will go around the outside edge of it and frame it in. We'll set this one out here in a second once I get these put into the basket. And just because you put a clip on them when you're doing this process doesn't mean you're stuck with it. Because you'll see tomorrow night as you go through the process of sewing these together, you can always change things up. And many times it's exactly what I do. And I'm sure you'll do the same thing. Okay. There we go. Now let's do one more. Let's do this one. I have a feeling that's going to be a pretty amazing one as well. This will make a big, like a petal, a big flower petal in the center. Oops. Check this out, everybody. Isn't that one just yummy? Look at that. Very nice. Okay. Do 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 do. And I do have some different piecing strategies I'll share with y'all tomorrow night to try to make that process go a little bit faster. There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's get this one next. Just going to go ahead and take the pins out and be done with that. And then we'll get these cut out again. Yep, we'll go this way. Just cutting out these 60-degree diamond, not diamonds, triangles. Of course, you could sew two of these together to make a 60-degree diamond if you chose to. Just by doing that, check it out. That could be a diamond. But we are cutting out 60-degree equilateral triangles. That's what makes the magic happen on this. Cut there. I may not get 8 out of this one. If I don't, that's okay. No big woo. We'll see. Need to be close. Cut it and see if I can make it work. We'll see. If not, it's okay. I think that'll work. More than likely. I'm going to put 2 clips on that one because that was a miscut. That way I'm able to, if you get something, if you do what I just did, I just put 2 clips on it, that way it'll draw my attention to it when I'm going through these stacks. And I'm going to pick out one to do this time. I think this one will be a cool one. You see here. Come here, you. Sometimes they don't want to separate easy. I think this will look awesome. Yeah, check that out. Love that. Pretty cool. Let's do one completely different from that colorway. Let's do one of these right here. Let's do this one like so. Come on, you. There we go. Pretty cool. Okay. Let's get these clipped up. And then we'll restack these, and we have 3 more strips to cut, and this quilt top will be all cut out. Woohoo! It's a good thing. Okay. Love that one. Okay. Those pins out of there. Okay. Let's get these 60 degrees cut. There we go. That's a good question, Vanessa. And I would say it'd be at least, hold on, let me do some math in my head. 6, 1, 2, 3. It would be at least 70 by 80, if not a little larger. Depends whether you put the front a whole panel in there. If you use that whole, if you put the 7th panel in the front of the quilt, it would and I'll do that on this one. I think, yeah, I'll do that on this one. It also depends what size of triangles you cut as to the size of it. If you make smaller triangles, and what I'm doing here, there will be more seams, hence it will use more of the fabric, the yardage up. So forth and so on. And one more cut here. All right. Let's see. Be right there. Definitely right there on that one. Right there would be the center on this one. See how the contrast is? That's what I'm looking for. Put that little red tip in the center on this one. Right there's going to be the center. See how it makes a shape right there, an elongated oval? That'll look nice coming out from the center. I'll say that one on this one. That could change tomorrow. Okay, let me get a drink of my pop here. Oh, Linda, he's over here on his couch snoring. I'll get him on camera once I finish cutting this out, Linda, so everyone can see him. He's doing good. Little fur ball. I'm gonna have to cut his hair here pretty soon, give him a trim. I cut his hair. But he has been very happy. He's such a happy little dog. And I tell you, this winter, he has decided just how much he appreciates the electric mattress pad on the bed. Because, yeah, he likes his electric mattress pad. Our electric mattress pad, I should say. We just had to get a new one for this winter season. Then I have a quilt and then a fake fur bedspread on top of it. So it's nice and cozy upstairs with that electric mattress pad on. Oh, thank you, Janelle. So Lee, what it is, the selvage was on each end of these are pre-printed panels. So I trimmed the selvages off. The selvages ran this way, and then I just start right at the edge where they line up over here. There's my raw edge where the panels lined up, and I just come in maybe 1/8 of an inch from that edge and start trimming. That's all. That's the easy part. This kind of has an ombre effect here, which is really kind of cool. Don't know if I'll put the panel on the front of this one or not, because I have an idea how it depends. It just depends. Because I'll tell you, it would look pretty cool to do these ombres in the very center, this real light in the very center, and then go out to the darker and colorful around the edges of the quilt. If I were not going to put the panel into the center. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. There we go. The fabric bowl's getting rather full. Check it out. It's almost done. I have one more strip to cut off, and I'll have all of these units cut for this quilt. Pretty cool. You see, it hasn't really taken that long. It would honestly even go quicker if I wasn't on camera, because I'm just trying to be very cognitive of my angles and all that fun stuff. Oh, one thing I should have put that in a bigger fabric bowl. And that'll come tomorrow. Okay. What I'm doing, so this one, notice how this is just plain on that point. So that would be the center on this one. I'll lay this one out so you can kind of get a feel for what that striped fabric looks like. It makes a really cool secondary pattern. And yeah, it is. One side of this sleeve is cut on the cross grain, however, the other sides are totally on the bias. So you want to be careful when sewing it together that you don't stretch it, because we all know what kind of a nightmare that can be if we stretch our bias edges. So check that out. See? It just kind of blends. That's exactly how I will sew that one together. So it's really interesting the way that works. And this one here, I could actually, we'll probably put this to the center here. We'll see. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Because each one of these each stack of these have 3 possible outcomes. And that's the beauty of one of these type of quilts. You can make it what you want it to be. Okay. Here's our final strip. Woohoo. Let's get this cut up. I'll also be talking tomorrow night, giving some more information on our March project, which is that lunchbox quilts in the hoop that we're going to be doing. That'll be our big project for March. That won't start until the weekend after St. Patty's Day. I will be in Naples, Florida for St. Patty's Day weekend at Flash Sew and Quilt in Naples. We'll be doing a serger workshop. Well, Lee, if that were to happen, it would not be no big woo, because if that happens, then you'll just use that in a different project. You can add it to your your orphan pile, and make something cool out of it. You can always put those scraps together to make a pot holder or a trivet, a hot pad for a hot serving dish, whatever. It's all good. Okay. And there we go. So those are all done. Now I do have a larger bowl cozy here. I'm just going to set that out because this stack is just kind of working my last good nerve. Because I had to kind of put it like exactly on top of each one because it didn't have much width to it. So I'm going to fan these out so they just lay a little better in there. There we go. This is an example of why you can never have too many wonder clips also. So let's look at what a couple of these would look like. This is an interesting one. It has a very much of an ombre effect to it. Oh, Lisa, I'll be happy to meet you too. Okay, so right here, let's just check this one out. See what this would look like. Fingers don't want to work. There we go. But just see how those simple little striped design can really turn into something totally cool and awesome. Love that. And here's one. Okay, so there's no angles to it or anything. So let's play with this one a little bit. Let me put this one up first, because that one's done. And I know how I'm going to sew that particular block together now. Okay. Yes, I love using my bowl cozies to organize my pieces and my notions with, because guess what? These will really stack on top of each other really nicely, and you can keep everything nice and organized in your sewing room. So let's just do this first, like so. This might take, it's going to make a nice chevron look. Let's see what this looks like. You know, I was sitting here when I was looking at this, I thought, that's probably not going to be the best effort, but I'm kind of digging it now that I'm laying it out. It looks better than I thought it would. I kind of like it. No, I think it's really cool. Look, check it out, everyone. Yeah, pretty cool, eh? Mickey, we are talking about me coming out to 35th Ave in Phoenix in September, the first part of September. That's what I have talked to Jackie about. So we'll see. Then, let's see here. And so this one, I put that blank spot into the center like I did in the previous one. Look at that, everybody. I may have to order more wonder clips. Oh my gosh. Stop the madness. So this one, yeah, if I put this to the center, it kind of do the same effect as that. But let's put one of the other angles to the center, and that way you can see. Right here. No, Lee, you can bring your Juki as long as you know how to thread it, because I know nothing about that serger. But no, you'd be more than welcome to bring any brand of serger to my workshop in Naples, even whether you have a Juki or a Pfaff or a Bernina, whatever. But you just have to know how to operate it, because I know nothing about those sergers. You'd be more than happy for you to come with that Juki serger. There we go. Pretty cool, eh? Look at that. Love that. Now, Lee, is your Juki serger, is it a 4-thread or does it also do a cover or chain stitch? Pretty cool. Let's put you up. I'm going to show you what I have on my design wall. And I'll be working more on that tomorrow before tomorrow night's class. But on my design wall, I have my one remaining peacock panel. And then I have all of my blocks pieced. Now when you piece these kaleidoscope blocks, you piece half blocks. Okay. I'll explain more about that tomorrow. Okay, there's that. Okay, let's go over here. Let's look at this. Okay. Just going to rotate it. I'll put my hand in front of the camera. There we go. That is what's on my design wall. The lighting is not really set up for that wall like I thought it would be. I just saw that. But there we go. So out of that panel, all of these blocks, oops, there we go. Hello there. Okay. All of these blocks, let me go back to my other camera now. Right here in this big fabric bowl, there's my blocks from that panel. And what I did, notice when you look at these, every seam is pressed perfectly open. And what I mean by one block, this is one block right there. But it's in half. So I have half hexes is what I have. That's okay, Lee. You can still do it without the cover stitch. I'll have one of my machines with me just in case. I see these two don't match, so I'll have to look at that. But that's what I call a half hexie, okay? So when you lay these out, how you want them, all these hexes are laid out, what we would do, and that with this method, we're going to sew them to get the half hexes together like this and make long strips, and then sew those together. Betty, the book is this one right here. One Block Wonder Panel Quilts. Okay. It goes into great detail how to stack it, how to place it, how to pin it, design ideas, piecing ideas, all that fun stuff. Wonderful book. It's in the description of this video. If your local quilt shop doesn't have it, you can get this on Amazon. I have provided an Amazon link for this book if anybody wants the book. Okay. But yeah, there's that. There's some really cool blocks in here. Check this one out. Out of that peacock panel, created that one. Isn't that pretty? A lot of cool blocks in here, everybody. Check this one out here. But this is what makes this technique so magical. This looks nothing like what's hanging on the wall over there out of that panel. Here's another cool one. Let's check it out. Look at that one. So much fun. Now, Lee, I will be bringing my Euphoria with me, which is a cover stitch machine, to Florida. So if you need to, you could always use one of mine. But I'm sure the shop there will also have some machines as well, if you need to. The part that's all done in overlock, you could totally do with your machine. I'm not familiar with that particular serger, so there are some techniques that can only be done on a baby lock. For instance, the wave stitch. But no, a lot of the project you could do with your serger, with your overlock serger. Okay. Woohoo! Let's go back to another camera now. Here we go. Woohoo! Right there. Okay, so Puffin, come here, Bobo. Wake up. I just woke up the dog for you, especially for you, Linda. Come here, puppy. Come here, Shuggy Shug. I know. Come here. Come here. Oh, there we go. There's the Puffin. Yes, there's the puppy. I just woke him up so he could say hello to everybody. Boo, 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 boo. Yes. Yes, Puffin he will be 10 years old this May the 17th. I know, you heard your birthday, didn't you? It'll be May the 17th when he turns 10 years old. Oh my gosh. Had him since he was 9 months old. But yeah, he's my puppy. Yes, who he is. Who's my good boy? Yes, he was sweeping. Weren't you sweeping, huh? I know. Okay. Sugar. Okay, so all that being said, episode 3 is tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same bat time, same bat channel. You know, you have to have watched Batman in the 60s to know what I just said. But those of you that were following the Quilts in Italy series, I will be doing some more quilt tops, but it will be with a different CAFE book later this year. I'm trying to get everything set up for that and all that fun stuff. But anyway, so once we finish the panel quilt, there will be another one of these I'm going to do, which is a lesson on how to do it using yardage off of fabric. Okay. Because it is a little bit different to use the yardage, because you actually have to be able to recognize and cut where the repeat pattern in yardage fabric begins and ends to get your 6 layers. Normally, when I buy yardage to do one of these, I think I bought 4 yards of fabric, I think. Oh, wonderful, Mickey. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you, Betty. Okay, everybody, I'm going to call that one a night. I'll see everybody tomorrow night. And it'll probably last about 2 hours tomorrow night. We'll see how long I can keep that one going. Simply because there is going to be a lot of ironing. And that takes up more time when you're piecing. But I'll have an ironing station set up right next to my sewing machine. And I'll just show you how I do this. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a wonderful evening. And I will see you all tomorrow night. Good night, everyone.